Today we're going to be making Southwestern Asian cups, and what that entails is we're going to be using a lot of ingredients, but it's going to be really easy. It's going to be a really tasty appetizer. What I've already done, I have taken my wonton wrappers, which is one of the main ingredients that you'll need to be using since it will be holding the appetizer. So we've got our wonton wraps, we have avocado, cilantro, and then corn and black bean salsa. You can usually find this in the vegetable aisle. It's canned. It's usually easier to buy it as a can so that you can have your beans and your corn all together in one can. We've also got our pineapple, and then right here, these three ingredients are going to be going with our Philadelphia cream cheese mixture. What I'm going to be doing later is taking the cream cheese and putting it into the food processor with these three ingredients. What we have here is we have a hot chili sauce that is going to give it that Southwestern Asian sort of hot spice. And then we're going to be taking a teaspoon of wasabi powder and adding it to the mixture to also give it a little bit of heat. And then right here, in our little black plate right here, we've got soy sauce. So basically the wasabi powder and the soy sauce are what is going to give the sauce that goes on top of the appetizer its Asian flavor. And now moving on to the wonton wrappers. This is what you want to do first. You want to make your cups. So we're using wonton wrappers, and what you want to do is you want to take these about 2 at a time, and you want to brush either olive oil or vegetable oil on each side. What I have here is vegetable oil. It tends to work much better. And the reason why we're doing this is because we want to make sure that our wontons come out of the oven easily. We're going to bake them at 350 degrees for 6 minutes. We don't want to bake them much longer than that because they'll burn. Okay. And as you see, I've already done 10, and I'm just going to complete the last 2 to make our dozen. Let me just put it in like this. Beautiful. Okay, now it's all set and ready to go into the oven. Okay, so I've just taken these out of the oven. They are a little crispy. This is how you can tell that they're nice and ready to go, is you'll have a little bit of browning around the edges. And see, they make a nice little cup. I used muffin cups or cupcake cups just to protect the actual wonton itself, because you don't want it to get too moist from the vegetable oil, and you also don't want it to get burnt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this one aside because I'm going to fill it. It's going to be my first one that I'm going to fill. And I am going to first make the sauce. So what we want to do is we want to get our food processor all set and ready to go. Okay. And I'm going to take an 8-ounce container of Philadelphia cream cheese. And we're just going to put it into the food processor. Make sure we get it all the way around so that it can get nice and blended. I'm going to use the container itself to help me put the cream cheese in. And then we're going to take our side ingredients, with the exception of the pineapple, because that's a garnish, and as well as the avocado. So what we're going to use is we're going to use our hot chili powder sauce. It's our hot chili sauce, and our wasabi powder. There's about a teaspoon of the wasabi powder and about 1 tablespoon of the hot chili sauce. So we're just going to put that in there. Might want to use a spoon to help us. Now you don't want to put, the reason why we're only using 1 tablespoon of the hot chili sauce is because we don't want it to be too spicy. This stuff is already very spicy on its own. We're just going to dump in the wasabi powder. Set that aside. Oh, and we can't forget about our soy sauce. This also adds a nice flavor to our sauce. So we'll just add that. Pop this on. Okay, so we're going to pulse it 3 to 4 times. And it looks like we should just pulse it 1 more time just to make sure all these ingredients are mixing up properly. Perfect. Okay. Pop that off. And we're going to leave this alone for right now. And now we're going to go ahead and fill our first Southwestern Asian cup. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my corn and my bean mixture and putting it into the first cup. Now, this is a tiny, tiny little cup, so you want to make sure that you're very careful with all the ingredients. Now, before I put on anything else, I want to make sure that I drizzle a little bit of lime juice, 1/4 of a lime, over my cilantro, just to give it a little bit of flavor. Okay, and then we're going to put just a couple pieces of avocado and a couple of pieces of pineapple. Put that in there. And then, of course, we're going to do a little tiny bit of cilantro. Very miniature, very tiny, tiny, tiny pieces that we're working with. Now, what we're going to do, so that we can drizzle these real nice and pretty over our appetizer, over these cups, we're going to just take this cream cheese mixture, the sauce, and we're going to put it into a Ziploc bag. Now this is if you don't have a pastry bag or any other type of bag that can easily drizzle sauces to make, designs on desserts and whatnot. This always comes in handy. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut a little piece of corner, very, very tiny piece of corner off of one of the edges. So there. We've got our cream cheese mixture for our sauce that has the hot chili sauce, the wasabi powder, and the soy sauce. I already smell it. Excellent. And we're just going to squeeze it down, kind of like you would if you were decorating a cake, except this is going to go right over our cup. So we're just going to go kind of like in a zigzag formation and make kind of like a Z. And so there, we've got our first one. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty appetizing, I'd say. I'm going to go ahead and finish making the rest. We have 11 left. I'm just going to go ahead and finish making them, and that way you can see the final product. Okay, so I have just completed all 12 Southwestern Asian cups. And all I did was take my Philadelphia cream cheese sauce and zigzagged as best as I could over all of our little cups. So again, all we have in here is black beans, corn, cilantro, pineapple, avocado, and then of course in our Philadelphia cream cheese sauce we have the cream cheese, hot chili sauce, soy sauce, and wasabi powder.